Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Our topic of discussion this week is how you can stay centered even though you may be leading a busy life. Now I know many of you who watch this are busy people, busy with your job, busy running a business, busy with your family. It doesn't matter what keeps you busy, but you may not have the luxury of having a free afternoon to yourself to meditate for long periods of time because you have somewhere you need to be. Now, one thing that's important to understand is that just because you're busy doesn't mean that you're stressed. I do understand that leading a busy lifestyle can be a breeding ground for stress, but it doesn't have to be that way. You could structure your life in such a way that you're a very active person. You have many things that you need to do, but you do them from a place of being centered and calm and still. And in our discussion today, we're going to talk about how you can achieve that. So let's get started. One of the very first things that's important to do is to get clear about what you're busy with. Many of us relinquish the power that we have to other people. We let them fill up our day, or we prioritize them in our schedule, and then we find ourselves at the end of the day not having done what we wanted to do. But this is in your hands. You have to take charge of your own schedule. And so every single day, sit down and plan what you're going to do. And when I was younger, I heard about this important versus urgent quadrant, and I'll put it up for you guys to see. And this basically talks about prioritizing things, understanding what's important and urgent for you to do, and also understanding what may seem urgent but is actually not important at all for you to do. And so when you sit and look at the tasks that you have for a particular day or for a particular week, you need to put them in the right place. Is this actually important and requires my attention? Or is this one of those things that looks like it's important, but it actually isn't? And when you have that demarcation, when you have that understanding, then you can prioritize what you're going to do during your day or during your week. So really get clear about what it is that's keeping you busy. Is it things that are fulfilling you? Are they important for you to do? Or could you take this out of your schedule and give yourself more time, or switch it to do something else that could benefit you? The second thing I encourage you to do is to prioritize whatever it is that you do to get centered every day. Many of us have some kind of spiritual practice that we follow every day to help us to connect to our being, to help us to connect to our source, to help us connect to our God. I encourage you to continue doing that every day, because what I realize is that when we get busy, that's the first thing we want to take out. Oh, I'm so busy today, actually I don't have time to meditate. But when you're busy, this is when you really need to meditate, to help you to really connect, to be centered, and to be calm. And so I don't advise you, when you're reshuffling your schedule, to take out your connecting time. I encourage you to keep it so that it may help you it may actually carry you through the day. For me, I find that if I start my day and I'm feeling rushed and maybe like I'm running out of time, I find that this is the theme for the rest of my day. But if I am calm and centered and collected, even though I may have many things I need to achieve in the day, I don't feel so rushed like if I don't take the time to center. And so if this is something that happens to you too, I would encourage you to keep that daily practice that you have. You might not be able to do it for an hour like you usually do, but don't go without it. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just keep it in your schedule and say, okay, I'm really going to give myself that time to connect, because you really need it, especially when you have many things to do. The third thing is to schedule breathing time. Now, what do I mean by scheduling breathing time? Because we're breathing all the time. Many of us don't breathe consciously. And it's important from time to time during the day to just take a moment to take in deep breaths. And the reason I encourage you to do that is because, as I have mentioned before, the breath is something that helps you to come into the present moment immediately. If there's one thing that can get you out of your thoughts or your mind from wandering to come back to this moment, is to just focus on your breath. It can be that simple, yet it can be that hard. So I encourage you to schedule breathing time, because I know that if you haven't done it before, you actually totally forget that you're breathing. But when you set your alarm and say, okay, every hour or every 2 hours or every 3-4 hours, I am going to remind myself to breathe consciously. You give yourself a few moments to do that. Now, breathing doesn't have to take you 5 minutes. It can even be less than a minute. I encourage you to just take a moment to take a long inhale, possibly to the count of 4, and just breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Then breathe again. 2, 3, 4. And that's it. That wasn't even a minute long. That's all you need to come back to yourself again, to just focus on your breath. Now you can do that for a few rounds. You'll find that it will really just calm you down and just reconnect you, help you to refocus on what you're doing. And in the beginning, you might not be used to doing this, so I'd suggest that you actually set your alarm, and when it goes off, you just take a few moments to take in a few deep breaths and then continue with the rest of your day. Now, this is the short message I had for you this week. I hope that you find time during your busy schedule to at least stay connected and centered. And please remember that just because you're busy doesn't mean that you have to be stressed. You can be a very busy person, an active person, but still lead a fulfilled and happy life. And that is what I wish for you now and always. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful week. Do come and share with me in the comments how you stay connected to yourself even though you may be running a busy lifestyle, so that we can help those people in our community who may be struggling in this area. Namaste, everybody. See you next time. Bye.